Good morning, everybody. Happy Monday, April the 15th. I hope you all got your taxes, American friends. I hope you got your taxes all done before the deadline. I just did mine so I can get the money back from the government that they steal from me with their carbon taxes on practically everything that I purchase. But that has nothing to do with the content of this video this morning. This morning, I wanted to talk about this douche because it's been making the rounds over the weekend where Bill Maher on Saturday started noticing on my social media that a bunch of people were posting this Bill Maher new rules rant where he's calling out Canada as a cautionary tale. And I wanted to make a video about it because I stopped watching Bill Maher, I don't know, back in 2015 when he came down with a serious case of TDS. I, being a liberal myself, a moderate liberal, could not reconcile the deranged, unhinged nature of the objections to Trump from people like Bill Maher. And so I stopped watching back then. And I still see to this day, people like Dave Rubin constantly quoting Bill Maher as the paragon of leftist, sanity or leftist, moderation. And the guy is anything but. In this rant that he went on Friday about Canada is perfect proof of that. And I'm going to break it down for you, but you can see it's just post after post about Bill Maher, Bill Maher, Bill Maher, Bill Maher, Bill Maher, blah, 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 Bill Maher. He's not the paragon of leftist, reasonableness, okay? The guy is unhinged, and I'm just going to quickly break it down for you. As you can see in this image of Bill Maher wearing this, Haiti is great already. He's basically, I must do the opposite of what Orange Man said because Orange Man is wrong. And, as recent events have shown us, Haiti is a shithole. Trump was right. Trump will be proven further right with Bill Maher's own words that I will play for you just momentarily here. Just hold on one sec. So, yeah, I just wanted to. I don't think I'll make any more Bill Maher videos because I don't want to be one of those type of guys who reacts to people saying shit. I want to say stuff. I want to bring things and ideas to you guys. I don't want to be just one of those reacts to type of YouTubers. It's not my thing. I got, you have thousands upon thousands of people you can watch who already do that. So you don't need me to add to the cacophony of voices. So let's watch what Bill has to say here, and then I'll break it down for you.
Decades and learn from other countries, especially. And finally, new rule: if we want to save our country, we should follow the advice good liberals have given for decades and learn from other countries, especially those beacons of progressivism like Canada, England, and Scandinavia. And I agree we should, as long as we're honest about the lessons we're learning, and as long as we're up to date on the current data, such as the unemployment rate in the U.S. is 3.8%, and in Canada it's 6.1%. And of the 15 North American cities with the worst air pollution, 14 are in Canada. I'm not citing these stats because I have it out for Canada. I love Canada and its people and always have. But I hate zombie lies.
And this is where I take exception when Bill, tries to take this position that I object to zombie lies, and zombie lies are these things, these lies that can't be killed, right? They just keep living no matter how much data you throw at people who believe these zombie lies, no matter how much data you throw at them, they refuse to believe the truth. They believe the lie, right? So the guy who believes that Trump was Satan incarnate, the guy who would end democracy, who did not end democracy, as we have 4 years of Trump in power not ending democracy, still believes the zombie lie that Trump will end democracy. So, I mean, Bill Maher is the worst person to talk about zombie lies. The man believes one after another when it comes to Trump, when it comes to conservatives, when it comes to this kind of like show is for low information leftists, right? Because basically you could take at least a couple of 3 dozen positions that Bill Maher believes that are zombie lies, right? The man he's basically a tool of the moderate Democrats trying to rein in the party, really, is all he is. So he perpetuates these zombie lies and then complains about the zombie lies. So anyways, let's continue. Now I'm going to zip through this video because there's this woman who Bill Maher production team paid to sit in the audience and laugh at his lame jokes because they're not funny. And so you're going to hear her laughing here in a minute. And it grates on my nerves to hear her laugh throughout this video. So I'm just going to zip through because I don't want to make this, I don't want to be like Tim Pool and inflate this into a 30-minute video when it doesn't need to be.
Zombie lies. That's when things change, but what people say about them doesn't. Yes, for decades, places like Vancouver and Amsterdam and Stockholm seemed idyllic because everything was free and all the energy we needed was produced by riding a bike to your job at the windmill. Canada was where all the treasured goals of liberalism worked perfectly. It was like NPR come to life. But with Putin...
And so you can hear her like laughing inordinately loud to that joke that wasn't funny. So I'm just going to fast forward because she's peppered throughout this and she's as annoying as fuck. So yeah, so let's do this. He's going to throw out some facts here. And I want you to hear this zombie lie he says.
Adding 11 million migrants in 1 year. And now they're experiencing a housing crisis even worse than ours. And we're sleeping in tents.
And then she goes again. It's so annoying. So I want you to, because a lot of these jokes aren't funny. Okay, so here we go. He talks about Canadian healthcare.
Countries and access to primary healthcare and ability to see a doctor in a day or two. And it's not for lack of spending. Of the 30 countries with universal coverage, Canada spends over 13% of its economy on it, which is a lot of money for free health care. Look, I'm not saying Canada still isn't a great country. It is, but those aren't paradise numbers. If Canada was an apartment, the lead feature might be America adjacent.
So did you catch that?
Health care and ability to...
Listen to this.
So does their vaunted healthcare system, which ranks dead last among high-income countries in access to primary healthcare and ability to see a doctor in a day or two. And it's not for lack of spending. Of the 30 countries with universal coverage, Canada spends over 13% of its economy on it, which is a lot of money for free healthcare.
Did you hear that? So free healthcare, it's not free. It's paid for by taxpayers' money. It's paid for with taxation. It's not free. It's the government confiscating your money that you earned and rerouting it to a service that doesn't really serve you. So there's zombie lie number 1. We're going to fast forward to zombie lie number 2.
Look, I'm not saying...
A lot of these jokes are lame. So he talks about the transgender thing.
And I'm generally with the gas pedal, but not if we're driving off a cliff.
So here we go. Here
Says, no, when it comes to huge, ridiculous tits, let's save that for the kids. And this is why people vote for Trump. They say in politics, liberals are the gas pedal and conservatives are the brakes. And I'm generally with the gas pedal, but not if we're driving off a cliff.
I don't know about you, but people voted for Trump in 2015, 2016 because he talked about ending wars. He talked about securing the border. He talked about getting the economy working for Americans. There was nothing about Trump, about transgenderism back then. There was nothing that he said about any of these culture wars. They were basically pocketbook issues. He basically was saying the same thing Bernie Sanders was saying, only from the right side. Both he and Bernie were both populists back then, before Bernie was told to get back in line. So yeah, there was nothing about the transgender issue in Trump's campaign back in 2015. It was mostly common sense economic issues.
On the trans issue, America is no ands, ifs, or buts about it, absolutely alone in the world now, an outlier country. Last month, England's National Health Service announced that there's not enough evidence to support the safety or clinical effectiveness of puberty blockers for third graders, and that they were going to stop fumbling around with children's privates, because that's Prince Andrew's job. Sorry, you two. They're very sensitive about the royal family, I'm telling you. I found out.
We'll make an exception.
All right. So too with all the other good place countries, in direct opposition to America's choice to affirm children's wishes on switching gender, no matter the age or psychiatric history. The far left, which always like to use, well, Europe does it. Yeah, no, that doesn't work on this one anymore. Or on immigration. Sweden opened its borders to over 1.5 million immigrants since 2010, and now 20% of its citizens are foreign-born, and its education system is tanking, and it has Europe's highest rate of gangland killings. And one result is that the far-right parties are in the government now there for the first time. To which liberals say blaming immigrants for the rising crime rate is racist. Yeah, but is it true? Of course it's true. It's not a coincidence the quality of life went down after the Somali gangs started a drug turf war using hand grenades. Calling it racist doesn't solve the problem. It hands future elections to someone who will solve the problem and who, I promise, you're not going to like.
So, Bill's objection to the situation in Sweden is not that, Swedes are suffering, that, violence is up and rape is up and murder is up. No, that's not the objection that Bill has. Bill's objection to immigration in Sweden is that a right-wing party might take power. Okay, he's like all the other leftists. Like, he's a tool. Basically, he's a tool of the left-wing institution to rein in the radical leftists so that the left can contain their control of power in the institutions. That's what Bill's role is. Bill doesn't give a fuck, like I did in a previous video. I'll link it in the comments section. But Bill doesn't give a fuck if crime goes up, or if you can't afford your food, or if your interest rates shot up and you can't afford where you live. Bill doesn't give a fuck about that. Bill's only concern is that the left maintains control in power and in institutions. Because if Bill was really concerned, he would welcome the right taking power so there could be a reset. Politics is like a pendulum on a clock. If it swings too far one way, it must swing back the other way. That's how the electorate reins in political ideologues who have gone too far. That's the mechanism. That's why it works. And Bill doesn't give a fuck if people are suffering. Bill is a paid shill for the Democrats to maintain their control of power. And so he doesn't care about the concerns that people have. If, the economic situation has gotten out of control, he doesn't care about violence. He doesn't care about a great number of things. He only cares about getting his masters, who I would imagine have all kinds of dirt on him, sexual dirt, because he used to, I believe there was one woman who tweeted at him one time about him being at the Playboy Mansion. So they have all kinds of dirt on him, just like they do on most of these celebs. And he has to say what he wants, what they want him to say. And his job is to maintain the control for the left. That's it. Stop quoting him. He's not a font of wisdom. The man is an ideologue. He's not an ideologue. He's a propagandist for ideologues. Okay? They got him by the balls. They have sexual dirt on him. As I forget who there was some former Playboy buddy or something that tweeted at him once about seeing him doing things at the Playboy Mansion when some sort of sex scandal. It's all very hazy. A lot of shit has happened since I got into the political field, but they got dirt on him. Just like they had dirt on Jim Carrey. Remember Jim Carrey, who became an unhinged TDS sufferer too? Back, when he was with some chick, he was anti-vax. He was like this very anti-vax crusader. And then Trump came, he disappeared for a few years, and then Trump came into it. Hey, he just came out of the woodwork like nothing. Like he had been here all the time. The whole time he had been around. He disappeared for a few years, came back when Trump emerged, had started being all this saying these psychotic things about Trump, and then he disappeared again. Well, they got dirt on him. They got dirt on most of these people, just like the P. Diddy, just like that Cat Williams guy was saying. They got dirt on all these motherfuckers. And they force them to say the things they say in order to maintain their careers. And so stop quoting Bill Maher. He's not a font of wisdom about anything. All this message is a message to the left wing to rein their extremists in because they know they're losing. They're losing. All the polls show they're being decimated, that Trump is going to get reelected. And that's the only thing he gives a shit about. He's not reasonable. His objections aren't reasonable for he doesn't give a fuck about the welfare of the ordinary person. His only concern is that Trump might win again, that right wingers might take control and change the direction of the country. That's the only thing he gives a shit about. The man is not concerned with you. He doesn't give a fuck about anybody but his power that he gets by being a propagandist for the left-wing establishment. So stop quoting Bill Maher as this font of wisdom. He's not. He's just, it's self-interest is the only thing that this man gives a shit about. And he's a fucking stoner. Who listens to fucking stoners? Like, a man's getting high all the time. Like, why would you listen to somebody who can't go 5 minutes without being in an altered state? Like, I mean, would you listen to an alcoholic who's slurring his fucking words? Why would you listen to some guy who can't go 5 minutes without puffing a joint? I mean, give me a fucking break. Would you listen to a meth addict? Would you listen to a crack addict? Like, if I was railing coke right now and had, going off on all sorts of tangents, would you be listening to me? Like, why would you listen to a fucking stoner? Anyways, that's about it. Bill Maher is nothing but a paid shill propagandist for the Democrats. Stop quoting him as some sort of reasonable voice. in the wilderness. He's not. His only interest is to perpetuate the Democrats' control in power. That's it. That's all I got to say. Anyways, talk to you soon. Bye.